Yo, the New Orleans Pelicans defeat the Detroit Pistons 116-110. I'm Cheddar Chaz. That's Lito. Let's talk about it.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth out.
This podcast is sponsored by the Birds Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of Boot Crew Media, located at 918 Porter Street by the Superdome. Give them a call at 504-523-5413 if you or someone you know has been involved in an accident, and be sure to mention we sent you. Birds Law Firm, the official injury lawyers of the Boot Crew Media. Yo, Lito, what's popping, my brother?
Man, it's all good, man. I heard I ain't see the game. I'm gonna be totally honest. I just saw the full quarter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here. I'm here so I don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? But I heard some good things. I hope everybody who, you know what I'm saying, I heard some good things. And, you know, one of the things I wanted to ask was like, you know, did JV have a good game? Because, Chaz, I just want you to know, bro, when JV doesn't play up to par, up to a level that people want, my bitches get flooded with it.
Mm-hmm.
But when he have a good game, you know, the crazy
It's quiet.
I can't, where y'all at? The address be the same. You know what I'm saying? I still live here. I can't get the mail delivered. It is crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And, bro, like, it's crazy because as well as JV played tonight, he could have even played better. Like, if they would have just fed him the ball more, like, I think they allowed the Pistons to get back into the game because they kind of went away from JV. Like, JV they didn't have an answer for him tonight. He was killing them. And that's why a guy like this is always valuable, especially when you got injuries, you know, this season. Like, you need at least a co-captain, you know what I'm saying? And I think tonight he dominated from the first possession, just dominated all night, in my opinion.
I mean, I would say he's the fourth best scorer on the team.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, like I me and Schmidt was having a conversation today, bro. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, for as much flag as he gets, I remember a season and a half ago, he was literally the best player on that Memphis team in the playoffs. Like he was their best player.
Yeah. And
I don't know what people think has changed. Obviously, like JV's not the type of guy. Like if you, for instance, somebody left me a YouTube comment saying, you know, JV got to be more like Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what they told me. JV. They said JV got to be more like Shaq. He got to be more like Shaq, and he gotta be explosive like Zion. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, do y'all know who we talking about?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. So I don't know, bro. But from what I saw tonight, like he had Sadiq Bey on him a couple times, and he didn't get a look. Like the name of the game is brutality. It's brutality. It's physicality, right? If again, I keep saying this, the smart people telling me the games are all about matchups. So if the matchup is a 7-foot human being versus somebody under 7 foot and slight of frame, I feel like you should go to that matchup. And I think JV is smart enough to not only draw the fouls but kick it out when he don't have it. He go get it back to whoever got it. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Christian for having 9 assists tonight, man. I ain't really see the game till the fourth quarter, but 9 assists, that's pretty solid, man. He looked like he was more in tune with getting his teammates involved tonight. I can't see nobody else because I ain't seen nobody else.
Yeah, I thought Naji and Jose had some good games. Again, to CJ's credit, hit a lot of big shots. I thought Trey hit a couple big shots tonight. Overall, I think it was just a solid team effort from the guys you've grown to expect, you know, to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a real rough game for DG tonight, man. Real rough game for Devontae. And I think the problem is, Lito, to be honest, I think people view Devontae like different than they actually should. Like me personally, I like Devontae, his improvement on defense this season, but I don't view Devontae as like a player necessarily. I view him as a contract. So because we all know Devontae not, you know, part of the long-term future of this team.
Part of the future.
And
right.
I think wherever his next stop is, he'll probably figure it out and get back to his Charlotte ways because the brother is clearly talented. But it's just like, I think people just, I don't know what they expect from Devontae, to be honest. He had a rough night, but I just don't know what they expect.
I think expectations are the key to life. Mm-hmm. Expectations are the key to life. When you understand what you're asking for, you go get the most out of life. If your expectations are unrealistic, let me look at Devontae's stats for a second, because like I said, I didn't see the game. He was 1 for 6, 1 for 5 for 3. Yeah, 3. Yo, you know what? Let me say this. I'm gonna shoot Devontae some bail. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
All right. Hear me out now.
I'm listening.
All right. So far as much, okay. He's supposed to be the gunner, right? He's supposed to be the gunner. It hasn't worked out where his shots have fallen and he can play that type of role. But here's the thing that I will say, and I ain't gonna lie, until Larry Nance brought this to my attention when he came on the pod, probably wouldn't have thought about it. But he really does play decent off-ball defense. He gets his hand in the lane. Like I will say, when his shot is not tonight, when his shot is not falling, he at least finds another way to be a part of the game. And there's other players on the team that I wish could do the same. Yeah. So if I have to shoot him any bail, is that like he understands that I'm just not a particular specialist. I'm a basketball player and I can do other things. Like there's more than one side of the floor to play on.
Right. I'll say this, man. There's things I like about Devontae's game. I really like his defense this season. I think if Devontae was like 6'3", 6'4", people would recognize his defense a lot more, because Devontae plays really, really solid defense. And he's constantly in motion on offense. He's constantly running around, you know what I'm saying? He's looking to make himself available, looking at, screen. So that was a good thing. It's just, Devontae, so far his skill set has really been a catch and shoot shooter. And with no person who can collapse the defense like Zion can, or even Brandon available right now, it's going to be harder to see what Devontae does well necessarily, because he's not doing what he's been excelling at recently, and that's just catch and shoot, because he don't have the opportunity, because there's nobody to collapse the defense really. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem, bro. I feel like, all right, look, let's stay on Devontae, right? Mm-hmm. Watching Devontae play at Kansas,
he can ball.
He did everything. Mm-hmm. His handle was incredible. He had bounce. He was getting into the lane. Like he was finishing over bigger dudes. Like he had more to his game. I feel like when he got to the league, I think the NBA, and of course specialization gets you paid, but I think specialization is a thing that gets you
kicked out the league.
Gets you kicked out the league because bro, it's always gonna be somebody who got a better specialization, a better skill set than you. So if you could do everything, you know what I'm saying? That I think that's why a guy like Naji, right? Like you consider him a utility knife, or a guy like Larry. I was talking to a dude earlier about Larry, and I made a post and I said, let's talk about backup centers, and they were talking about let's talk about starting centers. And, I said, basically, the guy was like, as far as a backup center, like Larry he's good because he's 6'7", he's alive and well. And I'm like, I feel you. I understand what you're saying, but he is 6'7". He is not a center to me. I don't look at him as a center. But do credit to Larry because he got that Swiss Army knife where he passes the ball well. He can rebound against guys his height. He's more athletic generally, and he's a really smart basketball player. And man, the thing with Devontae though, I feel like I think I'm just disappointed because I thought his handle was better. I thought he'd be able to do more when his shot wasn't falling, right?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. When I watched Devontae, the all season we acquired him, and I just remembered him killing the Pelicans in the game.
Killing.
And then I watched some of his his game footage, and I was like, yo, this dude, he got some things to his game. I even think Devontae is a good pocket passer. Like when he does decide to attack the lane, I does think he feeds the big pretty well, right? But you just don't see that, and it's like I would think like last year, I would think like, yo, bro, Now I ain't gonna lie, Devontae ain't scared to shoot. But I would think like last year going into this year, you would be that irrational confidence guy who just put them up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna go one for something, go one for 8, go 1 for 9. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna miss this, miss big. Because it's like Devon said, you playing for your NBA future right now, bro. Because you know what I'm saying, you like a 5'11" guard who specializes in catch and shoot, bro. And after this contract, his last year is only guaranteed for like $2 million. You could easily become a minimum contract guy after this contract, sadly.
And it's crazy because he's such a better shooter than what he's shown.
Yeah, Devontae can play, man. It's just
he's a better player than what he's shown.
Yeah, he's a much better player than what we've seen.
I really do believe it. I really do believe, bro. Like, listen, when we traded for him, matter of fact, when he was hooping and when he was balling in Charlotte, I was convinced he had took Terry Rozier. Like, I'm like, yo, he had played him out of, you know what I'm saying? He had started chipping away at his minutes. But let me ask you a question, bro. I didn't see the game tonight. I'm just looking at the box score. I see Trey had 19 points. And while I didn't actually see what he did, the fact that he shot 8 3-pointers to me is encouraging.
You know what? I'll say I thought Trey played some really solid defense today. I think he had a big shot to kind of like keep the Pistons at bay. Overall, I guess solid game for Trey. I'll say it was a solid game for him. Again, good defense. I thought solid defense. I thought he rebounded pretty well. He had some noticeable rebounds, like, you know what I'm saying, and that was always good. And this is the perfect game for a guy like Trey because, Detroit, they like to run. You know what I'm saying? Him and Jackson, guys like that physical prototype. This is the game for y'all. Because they got some athletes out there.
Did Jax? I see he had 17 minutes, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Like how was he though? How did he?
he was Jax. Like, he wasn't awful by far, but he was just like there's clear holes in this roster, man, and that's where it becomes like troubling. And if you watch that game, bro, I don't know how many threes Detroit missed, but I counted at least at 10 rim outs. I'm talking about perfect jumper, ball is in the cylinder, rims out.
They were 7 for 30.
Yo, they had at least like 10 rim outs. I'm talking about clean, perfect jumpers, look good out of your hand, in the cylinder, rimmed out. It was a crazy game. But they persevered. I would like to see Kyrie get some minutes at some point, man. With Zion and BI being out, you kind of shallow at wing. But I would like to see Kyrie get some minutes, man. I would like to see Larry not playing these games. Truthfully,
yeah, I really feel like I saw the first 5 minutes of the first and maybe the whole full quarter. I really didn't, in a game like this, I really didn't think you needed Larry. I think this was a no-brainer win. Like it ended up being not a pretty win, but like I take the wins regardless of however they look.
Definitely.
Man, I wanted to see some C Brown minutes, bro. Like I want C Brown minutes. Yeah. I want him to. I really feel like his first step could be crucial to this team in a lot of different ways because he's athletic as hell, man. Like once he gets that experience, he'll not only start, once he gets to the rack, you go have to help, and then whoever's in the dunker spot, like they could feast, a la JV or Larry or Jax or what I'm saying, whoever. But I really wish we could get them minutes. And man, I see Willie Hernan Gomez ain't getting nothing again, man. Like,
yeah, he, you know what? And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna defend Willie a little bit.
Thank you. I ain't mad at him.
Yo, tonight, look. Like, you know how I always say you can't make the club in the tub? Yo, if you don't take up and speak out for yourself, who gonna do it? Who gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? So I think a night like tonight, and it's been several nights where like you killing them in the post with JV and Larry's not really a great matchup out there. Throw Billy out there, give him a different look, like against the Utah Jazz. Throw Billy out there, give him a different look. know what I'm saying? Nothing else is working. Just throw him out there, see what's happening. Especially when you're trying to preserve Larry, his legs, his shoulder, things is going on with him. I think Billy could have got some run tonight, but it's a bad look, I guess, going to the press and putting that out there like that. But yeah, and still, if you don't take up for yourself, who gonna do it?
I'm gonna say this. In life, like when there's somebody who is ahead of you and you don't feel like the things that they've gotten they haven't earned, and you feel like when you get your chance to show what you can do, you always put up solid. I mean, always to the point where it's a double or nothing with Billy Hernangomez, right? So if I'm looking at Jackson's box score tonight, and that's why I was asking you because I didn't see the game, but if I look at he had 17 minutes, he scored 6 points, he had 2 rebounds. I know in 17 minutes, Willie Hernangomez could get a double-double. Like I have no doubt in my mind
he gonna get 5 rebounds, like offensive rebounds, just on like attempted putbacks, like just
right. And that's the thing, bro. It's like I really don't have. All right, I'll give you this. Last year, in that run towards the playoffs, when they moved Jax to a hybrid 3,
3-4 or whatever.
Yeah. Like I feel you. He had momentum going into that. So like if if you don't play Willie because Jax was producing, okay, cool, right? But to me, like when the game slowed down and you don't have the opportunities to run, and you need like rebounding, and that's something unfortunately, like even without his athleticism, Jackson cannot give you.
Yeah,
I don't understand why Billy Hernangomez can't get those minutes. I know I'm asking for a lot because he most of the time is a defensive liability. But I will say this: he's gonna make whoever's guarding him on the other end of the floor work too.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10.
With Jax, a lot of times you get the rest on both sides.
Yeah,
because there's no pressure, there's no presence to do anything else. But prayers to all parties involved, man. I see Jose Alvarado didn't have a great game. He was 3 for 14. What was going on with him tonight?
I think Detroit's just a really athletic team. They got a lot of physically gifted guys. Like Saddiq Bey, it's a big dude. Like I see
he had 10 rebounds. He had 20 and 10.
That dude serious out there. As far as like this strength, that's a strong dude. Then you got Bohan. You got Diallo, Jaden Ivey. So when you got like the size and the strength out there like that, I think it kind of this is one of those games where you see a guy like Jose kind of, not play it off the floor, but when it's like it's not the best matchup for him. And truth, Dyson kind of got played off the floor. Like Dyson really wasn't in there during the closing minutes because, like you said with Jackson. On offense, you get the rest. Like you're not worried about Dyson doing anything offensively. So it's just not the best matchup against like a lot of length and athletic guys. They was dunking. Killian Hayes, that dude had one play, bro, behind the back pass to Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey did like a crazy like layup. It was crazy. It was crazy. When them dudes figure it out, they gonna be good. They gonna be good.
I like them, bro. Like I understand Cade is out.
Oh, you cut out.
You get him?
Yeah, you good now.
They gonna have their own issues going forward because at some point, I don't know how Cade and Jaden are gonna be able to play together. Like that's gonna be a wild matchup. But like,
yeah, you're gonna have to figure that out. Yeah, we'll move on. I don't know.
Yeah, so, but like, I don't know, bro. Like, I would love a Bohan on this team. I've always liked Saddiq Bey. You know what I'm saying? So, not trying to poach their players, but I mean, if anybody will come to a winner, you know what I'm saying? Come holler at your boy. Like,
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, look, man, it is what it is, bro. Like as the Pelicans have to consolidate at some point. Like you got to consolidate these picks. You gotta start moving some of these guys and getting some people who are going to be here who can help you win. You know, in the future, like in the short term, because the future, no one like we keep talking about the future. We don't know what the future holds. Like, you know what I'm saying? The future, like the window for your team could be a half a season, like the Bulls. So you got to strike while the iron's hot, man. Go get you some guys.
The future not real, Chaz.
It's not real.
I'm really thinking about doing a show. I'm really thinking about doing a show where
future ain't real.
Because, like, you know, people got these unrealistic expectations of windows.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think that people understand that, like, windows aren't real. Like, yes, you can see out of a window, but how far can you see out of it, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, you think you can see across the street, but across the street is like closer than you think it is.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying that necessarily is what's happening with this team. I'm just saying when people ask me, like, for my F them picks mantra, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you believe you got a winner, I think you should go all in and make it worthwhile for all parties involved. But yeah, man, as far as this game though, like, I mean, this is a game I feel like you, regardless of who was playing, even if CJ wasn't playing, I feel like you should have won this game.
Yeah, because they're active. They're one of the few teams actively tanking. Like, once Cade went down, it was kind of like whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of actively tanking. Like, they rested Isaiah Stewart tonight as well. You're supposed to win this game, bro. You supposed to win this game. I don't care how you win it. You should have won it going away, but you won it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, just move on to the next one. I think the Cavs are next. That's a real tough matchup. That's a real tough matchup.
It'll be a doozy.
That's tough. What day is that? Is that Monday?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now. I got it pulled up as we speak. That is Monday, yes.
Okay, so they get today. It's Saturday or Sunday or yeah. So a nice little break to rest and go do their thing and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we can string some wins together, man. You know, hopefully we get some good news about BI. Saw him warming up again today. Looked like he had a little pep in his step, but you know what I'm saying, it ain't gonna matter till you're doing it on the court, brother.
Man, listen. What you say? Can't make the club in the tub.
Can't make the club in the tub, like, you know. But you know, I hope, you know.
I genuinely feel bad for Brandon, bro.
I do.
Because, like, like, turf toe ended Deion Sanders' career. Like, it ain't a joke. Like, it's a real injury.
Mike Thomas been out missed the whole season with what we think is turf toe, right?
Yeah, man. Like, so I genuinely feel bad for him because, like, you see things like people questioning his commitment to the team and, like, all these other things. But, like, I'm 100% pro player, and I feel like if you telling me you don't feel 100%, I don't know how I can say otherwise.
You do feel 100%. Like, you know, so.
Like, that sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you can't tell a person how they feel physically.
Yeah, like, no. Like, I'm telling you, yeah, I don't feel good. And you telling me, like, no, you good? Go ahead. And I'm not saying this is a scenario that the Pelicans are doing. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just speaking in general of, like, how my feelings as a player would be if I, you know, like, I want to be, because you got to understand, like, you know, B.I. he even though he's under contract, like, he's still kind of like a younger player. He's still playing for his next deal somewhat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you kind of just, like, I don't know, like, I just feel for him. I wish there was like I just wish there was more clarity on the situation, and that way, like, everybody would know what to expect, and there would be no, you know, whatever this is.
I think the best thing is to just presume he'll be out until there's a formal announcement, right? Until he practices,
Right.
because him shooting around is one thing. He still got to practice and run and get some sprints in. So until he like practices, I'm just that he's out. Hopefully there's no setbacks, and yeah, you just wish him dudes the best as far as their recoveries, man. But until then, I gotta get better. The show gotta go on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It got to, man. It got to. That's all we could. That's all we could really do. And you know what I'm saying. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you because you first for one you providing the consistent work. You know what I'm saying. You giving people hot takes, and then for two, like, man, it's crazy, man. I saw you talking about Shea. And then from what I had seen from people, like, he wasn't available. Why would we want him? And then, man, I looked on the timeline the past couple of days, and that's a lot of Shea trades. And then Shy Shea, however you want to say it. I'm not Canadian. I'm sorry. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
The other side of it is, like, you was talking about Gary Trent like way early, and it's a lot of. Hey, man, Chester Thomas is real, man. That's all I got, bro. I'm just trying to give you your flowers, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Man, look, I appreciate it, bro. It's just, look, everybody, we all learn things at different times. It's like AD says, growth isn't linear. You know what I'm saying? So we all put things together and learn them at different points. But man, them dudes out there balling. Gary balling, Shea balling. I think you got the opportunity to go get one of them dudes. You do that immediately, like, for real, because you talking about Shea, of course, gives your team the highest ceiling, but both of them, like, you're trying to be a perennial, like, Western Conference Finals contender. You got to go get some higher guns, because look, to his credit, even if he did play, Billy Hernangomez ain't the hired gun that's putting you in a consistent
real
Western Conference Finals picture. You know what I'm saying? You got to go do something. You know what I'm saying? While they're available, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think that this team, I hate to drag this pod on, but me and Shamil was talking earlier, bro, and, like, he was asking me, what do I think this team needs? And I said, like, he was asking me a position, and I said, I don't think it's just one position.
Yeah,
I think
it's two at minimum.
That's exactly what I said. I think you have to give me two players, because I need a gunner on offense who can not only create more creativity. I need more creativity, and then I need another big, a switchable big who can guard the rim, who can protect the paint and get rebounds. But I need that wingish type player to be a decent shooter, like 36 to 40%. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds like a lot, but, like, I was realistic. Like, this is what I think this team needs.
Yeah, I don't think that's a lot at all, bro, considering how much time the main guys miss. It's like early in the year when you mentioned that 15 roster spot, and people said, well, the 15 guys never going to play. Foolishly. Those people were fools, right, who said that, right? And so, because lo and behold, 15 guys been playing this season, right? Crazy. So if you go get a guy, that wing or that creative player, people might say, well, there's only one basketball. He's not going to want to be a third option, fourth option. I'm like, he might end up being he going to be the first option more often than not, because your starter's always hurt. So he's going to be a top two option if you go get him. Everybody going to have to punch above their weight. Anybody you get, when you bring them to the Pelicans, they're going to have to punch above their weight, as long as B.I. and Zion are the main two guys and they struggle with that help consistently. So I think people need to realize that. I bet they wish they had that 15 roster spot now, don't they?
See, look.
I bet so.
Hey, look, yeah, they gave me hella flack on that 15 roster spot. You know what I'm saying, early in the season. Like, but this is the reason why I say F them picks. The reason why I hop on the 15 roster spot is because of something you said, right? You told me earlier in the year, you said that you don't think that they would. I think you had B.I. and Zion at 58 games or something like that together.
Was that I had them playing like about 60 games individually,
Individually,
Yeah,
okay.
and 50 as a collective, like that duo playing about 50. And I don't see 30, honestly, bro.
I mean, that's real, unfortunately. But I think that I'm gonna say this, and I said this to Shamit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you told me, right, we could still win between 55 to 58, maybe 60 games without seeing Bi, CJ, Zion on the court all together,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I'd
I
still be
wouldn't be
okay with
upset.
that.
Yeah, I
I'd be
wouldn't be upset.
yeah, I'd be cool with that. But see, that's the reason. That's the thing that I'm saying. You got to understand, like Zion and Bi probably never gonna play 65, 70 games in the season.
Right.
And again, if you win in 50 to 55 games and they're available in the playoffs, I'm cool with that. But the roster has to be bulletproof.
Yeah, the roster got to be that good. Like,
Right.
just it got to be almost like too big to fail. Like, it got to be, got to have guys who can immediately be, oh, okay, like JV. JV can elevate to be your third guy, fringe second guy, certain nights against certain matchups, right? You got to have at least 2 to 3 guys who can step up in the event of, in these inevitable injuries happening, because I don't want to hear that, oh, he's a young guy and the rookies are not role players. We got a deep roster. I'm like, yo, your roster is only deep if your team is healthy. Once your team get hurt, the roster's not deep anymore. Like, it's shallow. So it's all about context, man. I think the moves are, I'm hoping something gonna happen. If not, at least some stuff around the edges. Do a little bit around the edges. And in the off season, if you want to make a big move, do that. But you got to do something. You got to do something.
I agree, man. Like that's the same thing I told again. Same thing, the same conversation we had earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do something. If your expectations are what I think they are, and it's looking like this team legitimately has a chance to go to the finals.
Yeah.
Western Conference Finals at minimum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think like you make 1 or 2 little moves, and that's the thing. Don't have to be big splashes. I'm not asking you to bring me. Let's say Shai isn't available. Like I'm not asking for a big splash. I'm asking for a Gary Trent. I'm asking for a Kevin Herter. I'm asking for I don't know, a Mason Plumlee.
Even Bohan's not really
a Bohan.
big splash. Yeah.
I'm asking for a Bohan. I'm asking for like somebody like that, just serviceable, because like this team doesn't trust Willie Hernangomez, and this team obviously Jackson Hayes doesn't give this team what it needs.
Mm-hmm.
And JV has been a guy who is he's solid, bro. Like he doesn't miss games. He just come to play, right? So it's like at some point his legs are gonna get tired. You're gonna need more than a small ball 5. Like, and again, I love Larry at the 5, but in spurts. I don't want him consistently playing that. I feel like that's too much of a burden for him to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think you need a guy, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You can come rim defend, rim run. You know what I'm saying? Just you just need another a body with a certain skill set out there. You know what I'm saying? It's not people, it's not all about having guys who can do everything at every position. It's like, nah, you just need guys who maximize their role, because once you get to the playoffs, certain people you're not going to really be able to play anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you need guys who can kind of like maximize and do their thing in their role. You need a JaVale McGee type who could give you 10, 15 minutes in spurts. You know what I'm saying? You just need that. Like, and I think we'll see. The deadline is a few weeks away at this point. The smoke starting to pick up all around the league.
I see man.
We're gonna see.
John Collins hit the game winner tonight, man.
Yeah, he did. He did. And look, DeJounte Murray is talking about the team early. He's like, this is crazy over here. It's crazy. Like, so I don't know what's happening with Atlanta, but if they can't trade John Collins again this year, bro, look, the perfect trade is just trading John Collins for Miles Turner. Like, just swap them 2 out, so at least they get traded. So no matter what, at least they'll be traded.
And you know what? Realistically, I think that would be great trades for both teams.
Yeah.
Like Miles Turner is probably the player that they need because John is more of a lob roll threat towards the rim, and like Miles will literally just stand on the 3-point line and not get any rebounds. So like,
yeah,
like that's how they want to play.
Like the roles they're looking for.
That's how they want to play anyway.
Yeah,
So you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I think they say Capella pretty banged up. When I know him and Trey real close, but when it come down to business. Business. Yeah, shoot. But hey, we'll see again.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's
all. So, go ahead.
No, I ain't got nothing.
All right, so shout out to New York Life, DraftKings, Topo Chico. That's been today's show. Your Pelicans are victorious. We're gonna try to get some rest, man. Go into the next game. Let's get this dub on MLK Day. I'm Cheddar Chaz. That's Lito. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We out.
Peace.